Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes of all teenagers, I almost started speaking before I unmuted the mic. It always happens. It always happens to me. So welcome. We're back. We are going to go ahead and complete our two-part stream tutorial, and both of these will eventually be combined into one supercut of the process I go through to go ahead and design each of the buildings I work on. Before we get back to modifying this building, however, we have a checkpoint to go and work on. And to go and save, I believe. I heard a little bit of gunfire over this direction, so I'm going to assume they could probably use our help in some small capacity. So let's give them a shot. Got one more dude over here. Ah, there he is. Awesome. All right, we've got Longfellow, old Longfellow with us this time instead of Hancock, because I went ahead and I maxed out Longfellow's character relationship. So I'm now finally getting around to working on old Longfellow, who takes forever and doesn't like anything that you do, and is just kind of grumpy, which I guess fits. I guess that fits his character. But you know, you'd think that, I don't know, doing some cool stuff like fighting off any of the large sea creature bosses, maybe that would help. But nope, he just takes a lot of time. He just takes a lot of time. So I have seen a couple of comments on the most recent VOD, which was last night into early this morning. That would have been episode 37 of this series. The most recent VOD, I saw one or two comments saying that, hey, I don't really see like Snappy House Kit is not showing up in my menu when I go ahead and install it. So we're going to try to do a little bit of troubleshooting, but the majority of what we're here to do today is to finish up the tutorial series with building the rest of this house. Now, for just a moment here, we're going to switch over to the camera. I'm going to go ahead and open up a little window here. This is what we're looking for. I do believe. Come on. You got something for us? Anything? Oh, come on. That's not helpful. That's not what I want. I want... There we go. I want new tab. That's what we're looking for. Okay. nexusmods.com. Yeah, I know, I've got lots of things to go ahead and look for. We want Snappy House Kit. So I install all of my mods through the Nexus system here, and I always check the requirements. It doesn't look like there's any mods that require Snappy House Kit. However, let's see. Yeah, shell kit, of course. Interior building kits. All right. The workshop menu is too slow. You're missing items or so from Snappy menu. Having trouble placing objects. Okay, let's see. Ah, yes. Okay. So, you're likely going to need Settlement Menu Manager. If this is a problem that you're running into, you're probably going to need Settlement Menu Manager. I have Settlement Menu Manager installed. I don't know what my Settlement Menu Manager settings are, but I do have SMM installed. It is always important to check the requirements and all the other necessities for your for each of the mods that you install. Looks like there aren't any DLC requirements for this, which is nice. But even still, you should always go ahead and check. If you are installing through Bethesda, I'm sure that there is a section that goes ahead and that informs you, hey, this is what you need. But I don't know off the top of my head because I never install things through Bethesda. Really? We've got the other checkpoint to work on. Okay. We'll help this other checkpoint very quickly, and then we'll get to work. What do we have? Ooh, we've got a couple death claws over here. That looks like fun. You gotta be kidding me. Are we good now? Looks like it. I didn't get the kill. I'd like to, but I didn't. Oh, I'm sure. Anyway. Yeah, we've got the rest of the tutorial house to handle. So I like to always make sure, as I said last time around, I always like to make sure that the weather is nice and clear when we start this. So we're going to set game hour to 10. And then we're going to force weather to 0002 B52A. Now, nice and sunny. All right. Now we should be able to go on into the menu. It's going to take a little bit for us to get in there. Just a little bit. But we're going to jump into the menu and we're going to work on the second floor. We finished all of the first floor design yesterday. Now we've just got everything on the second floor and anything I end up putting on the third, which the third floor isn't going to be an actual complete floor. It's going to be the roof section. I'm probably not going to end up putting anything in the roof section. It's just going to be a nice roof section. But we will get around to designing that today. Okay. So as of yesterday, we completed the kitchen, living room, the little dining table here, the bathroom back here. Lots of simple stuff. It looks very complicated, but it only took us about 3 hours to do all of this, and that's with me explaining everything. I could have just stayed silent the whole time and just done the thing itself, but that wouldn't have been a great tutorial now, would it? Okay. So looking at this, there's a couple things I'm probably going to add on. First thing, we're going to head on over to the Snappy Kit, or rather Snappy Builds. We're going over to... Where is it here? Shell kit, floors, stairs, and we want to put on the railings for this set of stairs. So you always find the corresponding set of stairs, and then the railings show up afterwards. The railing on the right will be the railing will be right from the bottom instead of from the top, and then left will of course be left from the bottom instead of the top. Just make sure they snap on, and there you go. Is it necessary? No. No. But in the event that any NPC does go ahead and, trip over something and glitch their way into the side, I would like to do my best to prevent that from happening. Because NPCs in this game are not the smartest in gaming history. Right, okay, so we now have a second floor up here to work with. The first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and build up the walls. Most of what we're going to be using is going to be shared wall parts and classic shell kit, both of them in theme 1. Which is this nice looking deep red exterior, instead of the classic brick orangish red exterior. Yeah, we're going to be using this. For the church, for instance, I used theme 3, which is over here. The nice almost maroon brownish red here. But today we're just working with this simple stuff. For all the exterior walls. Same with the shared wall parts, which we're going to need a lot of. Now, I do know generally how I want to split up the room space. We went over this yesterday. A block and a half for a bedroom on each side, and then a block and a half for the bathroom in here, because we're going to need to add a shower and a bunch of other stuff inside. And then over here, we're going to put the washing machine and the dryer. And then this is basically just going to be a nice walkway. We're going to use the same internal wallpapers, at least for this hallway space. And the same bathroom wallpapers for the bathroom. But we'll see what the other rooms need. We'll see what the other rooms need. For now, we need to actually figure out how we're going to design this section. And I think this is actually going to be rather simple to do. The first thing, we're going to take these half wide walls here. We're going to place them right about there and right about there. There we go. Now we have a full. Now each of the sections that these divide up, we have a 1 by 3 block section for each of them. What this allows us to much more easily do is decide how we're going to place all of our windows. Now, if I take a look at the front, we have, that's right, we have the single windows on the front side. So we're going to continue that design. We're going to place the single window on the front. And the single window on the back. And then I do believe we're going to go with the 2-1-2 design from the first floor, right? Yes, the 2-1-2. Great. So that is where all of our... Oh, there we go. That's where all of our single windows are going to go. And then we'll walk in here for our double windows. But before we place our double windows, now's the right time to do it. We're going to go ahead and place all of these corner pieces, because I did forget a corner piece last time. Luckily, we only need 4 corners for this building. Shouldn't be the most difficult thing in the world to remember. One would think. One would hope, for sure. There we go. We got all our corner pieces placed. Now we're going to work with the 1-2-1, or rather the 2-1-2. There we go. 2-1-2. Yes. Nice. Great. Now we're going to leave the classic brick section, the classic shell brick. We're going to go all the way towards the end. The last set of walls we can place are the interior clean walls. And here's how we're going to work with these. We're first going to attach our full wall sections to those 2 points. And we're going to come in here with our half wall sections and finish it off with our full wall door pieces. And there we go. Lots and lots of space. Lots and lots of space. Okay, now that we have everything divided up and we know what the floor plan for each of these rooms looks like, we can go ahead and start placing all of the little decorations. First thing we're going to decorate, as per usual, is we're going to put any wallpapers and carpets or tiles that we're going to switch in. We're going to start with the bathroom. So Snappy build, and instead of going into shell kit, we're going to move to the right and go to the wallpapers and carpets and floor coverings. Inside of the carpets and floor coverings, we're going to use one of our full block tiles. We're going to use this simple tile texture. It's a classic. We love the simple tile texture. And then we're going to use one of the half wide, or I guess half height, depending. One of the half block textures. There we go. That's what we're looking for. And we want, again, the matching tile texture. Nice. Very, very nice. And then we're going to leave the carpets and floors. We're going to enter the wallpaper sections. And there are 2 types of wallpapers we need for this entire build. We need the shared interior walls. We need the shared interior wall pits, and we need the shell interior wallpapers. Did I say wall pits? Wallpapers. The shell interiors are for all of the window pieces, and the shared interiors are for any of the blank wall faces or the doorways. It's a very simple system. It can be a little overwhelming at first, but the more you practice with this, rewatch this video as many times as you need to, the more you practice with it, the easier it gets to remember all these things. So, for the sake of simplicity, I think we're going to begin with, no, that's not the one we're looking for. We're looking for, there we go, the flat single wall, or the flat single window inside of the shell kit. I always like to get the annoying parts of the build out of the way first. Very helpful that way. Okay, and this is the piece we're looking for our wallpaper for inside of the bathroom on the single window. We use this downstairs. Of course, we didn't use the window piece downstairs. We just use one of these. Beautiful. And then we will leave the interior shell section. We'll move to the shared interior section. And we'll go with the doorway next, because there's only one doorway that we have to worry about for the moment. And all the way towards the end, you can use whichever wallpapers you would prefer. However, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to make this all very uniform and simple. There we go. Snaps right into place. It is, of course, the Snappy House Kit. It should snap into place. Although I guess that's not a consistent rule with certain objects. But now, also in the shared interior, we're also going to use the full wall and half wall pieces, or the half height, rather half wide wall pieces. Yeah, the half height is a different one. There we go. We need two of you. Oh, come on. It is helpful to have a jetpack mod or something that allows you to fly around. Maybe you want to use the console command TCL to remove clipping, or I guess put you into no clip mode. You can fly around that way. But any objects you place down in in toggle clip, you have to leave toggle clip before you can interact with them again. That's just the way that Bethesda works. There's not too much there's not too much other advice I can give you on that. Find a mod that works for you for movement, if you're looking to do this in a more creative aspect. And if you're looking to do this in simply a regular playthrough of your Fallout stuff, then good for you. I'm not here to say that you can't or whatever. It just means that maybe, placing things or moving things around is going to be a little bit more challenging. That's why I suggest the use of console commands and whatever you can get your hands on to move around. All right, we've got the bathroom taken care of. The next thing we're going to handle is we're going to handle this hallway, because we know exactly what the wallpaper for this hallway is going to be, and it gives us a little bit of time to contemplate what we want to do with the bedrooms. All right, so continuing, three of the four sides of this interior are all going to be using the interior shell wallpapers. But while we're here in the shared interior wallpapers, we might as well go place down the door pieces. Now, the exterior door wallpapers that we're looking for, we're still using interiors, but you know what I mean. The hallway side, we're going to use this nice green like we used downstairs for continuity. All of it matches. All right, now with those doors handled, let's move on to the windows section. So we're going to leave shared interior. We're going to head on over to shell interior materials. We're going to use 2 for the single windows, or rather 3 for the singles and 2 for the doubles. Get those singles out of the way because there's more of them. Oh, where did that get placed? Oh no. Oh, come on. Of course. So this is another little bit of a tricky situation. Occasionally, when you try and place, when you go ahead and try and place a wallpaper down, and you need to go and delete it, occasionally it won't recognize the wallpaper. It will think that you're trying to delete the wall instead. We're just going to go ahead and disable that piece. We're going to come in here, back into Snappy Builds, Shell Kit, Classic Shell Kit, Theme 1, and we're going to grab that window piece again. Simple enough, but it can be a little tedious as time goes on. So just be careful with where you click and where your cursor is when you interact with things. All it takes is a bit of practice, and, you know, no one's perfect. Okay, now that we've got all the single windows down, we're going to, once again, work with the double windows. Awesome. Okay, so that's the hallway handled. Now, normally, what I like to do is I like to work with, normally, I'm a big fan of working with wallpaper trim. However, wallpaper trim can be very tedious and time-consuming, and is not really what we're here to do. If at the end of all of this we have some time, and I feel like, you know what, it could be a solid addition, maybe I'll add some wallpaper trim. But I will leave that up to you to figure out. With all of the instruction I've given in the last VOD, in the last VOD, and in the earlier sections of this supercut, as to how to use your console commands, I'm sure you can figure out the best way to place all of the wallpaper trims. I, however, am not going to worry about that for today's tutorial. And to be completely honest, I probably overuse it. It's probably not the most important thing in the world. Now, we have 2 bedrooms we need to work with. They have plenty of light in each of these bedrooms. I love the amount of light that we can get into each of these spaces, which is great. You want bedrooms to have a lot of natural light accessible to them. Unlike the bedroom I have, which I have a basement apartment right now, don't have a whole lot of light. But ideally, of course, you would have a lot of natural light entering into the bedrooms that you're designing, or whatever it happens to be. This is a general architectural principle. So now that we've got this, what wallpapers do I want to work with? We're already here inside of the interior materials for the shell section, so I might as well just start with these. What do I want to work with here? No. Oh, you know what? I don't build a whole lot that includes this this slat look, and really the only place you tend to see this would be in the you tend to see this in the player home at the start of the game in Sanctuary, but I don't really see this anywhere else, to be completely honest. I like it, I just haven't really thought about using it before. So how about we use it here? How about we go ahead and use you? I think I'm going to have both of the bedrooms include this, just to make it simple for us. Then we're going to use the single window. We're in the same pattern. There we go. And now we go ahead and can move back into the shared interior. Start with the doorways, because we're already marked at the doorways. Why not? We've got 2 half walls in each, so a total of 4 half walls, and then a full wall to complete. Oh yeah, we gotta move these all the way back over. And all the way back over. Come on. All right. Wonderful. Now the bedrooms have wallpapers. The bathroom is all ready to get set up. We are in good shape here. Really solid shape. Okay. Okay, so now it comes down to the actual decorating of each of these spaces, as it was yesterday, and I believe we're going to start with something very simple. First thing we're going to do, to go ahead and refresh our memories for those of us who are watching live, or just watching the VOD, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the washer and dryer. We're going to enter into Homemaker. I believe it would be furniture. Perhaps it's containers, but my guess is likely fixtures. We'll see. We'll try with containers first. Home. Let's see what we can bring up here. Yes, they are here. Wonderful. We're going to place the washer first because, I mean, washing machines are a bit heavier than dryers. They've got more stuff going on. Especially these kinds. We've got you. What I would like to do is I'd like to make sure that you are as... Ooh, we got very close, actually. We got very close to a perfect placement there. I want to try and line you up so that you are parallel to the wood grain. We want to turn this guy all the way around so I can see how he matches up. Okay, just a little bit of a difference. If you want to rotate an object 108, obviously, you know, mod angle. Modify the angle, which angle you're looking for, or rather which axis of movement, and then how many degrees you want to rotate the object. You can do all kinds of things with this. Now mod angle Z -1. Okay, that's perfect. Now we rotate it 180 degrees again, and mod pause X10 25 Y -5 10 15. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, we could have it centered. It wouldn't be a problem if we did, but I might want to place some other objects down here. So I think I'm going to try and push this up against the wall. In fact, 25, 30, 35. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, on top of this washing machine, we're going to go ahead and, of course, place the dryer. What's nice about these is you can actually go ahead and interact with these as storage objects. If you want to place things in here, you can. Now we're going to place you on the ground. You are extremely close to perfectly accurate. We're going to make sure. Oh, you are exactly accurate. Wonderful. So now we're going to find ourselves an advantageous angle. And I believe that is as close to perfectly lined up as we'll be able to get. Might want to move it just a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, we got the washing machine, the dryer. You gotta love it. Okay, cool. Cool, it's not blocking either of the windows, which is very important. We can still get some light in here. You know, it's creeping over a little bit, but nothing destructive, nothing terrible. Nothing terrible at all. And, I could do a little bit for centering it. There we go. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Okay, now that those are there, we're going to leave Homemaker, jump over into OC Decorator. We're going to look for personal effects, cleaning, and toiletries. We're going to place a couple of items up here. We're going to go for a broom. can be the clean one or just the standard one, whichever you're up for. I don't necessarily think it's the biggest deal at this juncture. In fact, no, we're going to not place the broom down. Instead, and I know I just left this, but we're going back to it. We're going into Homemaker. We're going into Decorations, Miscellaneous Interior. And we are looking for... Where is it here? We are looking for the ironing board. Yes, the ironing board. Wonderful. Now, is this the one that moves around? Yes, it is. So that's the wrong one. We're not looking for the one in Homemaker. Instead, I believe we're looking for the one in Decorations. Miscellaneous. Household. Does this one move when you walk into it? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's the one we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Very simple stuff. All right, and all we have to do is make sure that the base of them lines up parallel to the wood grain. Okay. Wonderful. Mod pause X 10 15 total. Great, and then on top of that, we'll go ahead and we'll place a clothing iron. Also from the Decorations Miscellaneous Household area. And I believe we'll place some clean sheets down as well. Nice. Okay. Great, a little bit of storytelling there. We will leave the actual cleaning stuff, and we'll place it here in the bathroom, which we are moving on to next. In fact, so let's do that. Now we're going to stick mostly in OC Decorator, but we're going to have a little bit of Homemaker and a little bit of just your regular furniture section. Or rather, your decoration section. First thing, however, we're going into Homemaker. We're going into Furniture Fixtures. We have to place a shower. That's the first thing we're placing down, is the shower, so that we can figure out where everything else is going to be placed in relation to it. So, I believe I'm going to go ahead and place the shower down like that. And then, from a reasonable height, I'm going to enter into the console, click on the shower itself, mod angle Z1, or minus 0.1. Okay. All right then. Now that we've got that lined up properly on the X and Y axes. Mod pause X minus 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, you want 4. And then we want Y minus 10, 20, 30, 40, 1. Okay. There we go. Now the shower is all set in place. You gotta love that. I'm just gonna go with that shower instead of the super clean, pristine one. We've got a lot of clean and pristine objects here, but you know what? Showers are used. Showers get used. Sometimes they get a bit dirty. What's important is that the idea is that the shower still functions. There's no reason the shower shouldn't still function. Okay, we have, a couple more important things we need to place in this bathroom. We need to place a toilet, a sink, and probably some object storage, wherever that's going to be. But let's see. So the door is going to swing inwards and to the left, which means I don't want to place anything right about here. We could place maybe the sink over here and the toilet over here, or the sink over here and the toilet over here if we want to give just the slightest bit extra privacy when someone walks in, for whoever might be sitting sitting here on the toilet. I don't know. We'll see. But then over here, I'm gonna leave this section probably for some cleaning material storage. We'll see. We'll see how that all goes. But which one am I? So if I walk in, and the first thing I see will be to my right, because the door will be open. I'd rather see the sink there first than the toilet there first, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna place the sink over here. Looks like the weather and the days are changing, so we're going to set game hour to 10 and force weather 0002 B52A. Nice. Okay, now inside of the Homemaker furniture fixtures, we could go ahead and place down, you know, one of these matching sink sections. However, I'm not the biggest fan of doing that in non-sanctuary houses because the ceiling height does not match, and it would not be really all that worth it to go ahead and try and modify the ceiling heights for every single building that I make. So instead, we're going to go over to Decorations Miscellaneous Bathroom, and we're going to use the same things that we did downstairs. A vault sink. Very nice. I'm going to try and center you as much as I possibly can. It's not going to be perfect from at the start, but we will get there. Click on it. Mod pause. Y. No, X -1. Okay, and then Y1. 2, 3, 4. Nice. That's a great height as well. I might want to move it a little bit, but we're a pretty... Actually, no, that is a perfectly fine height for the sink. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a clean mirror. Line you up as best we can. Beautiful. Beautiful and simple, you know, just very, very simple stuff. It doesn't need to be overly complicated. It doesn't need to be super, you know, a super large object or whatever. The fewer polygons of settlement objects you have, if you are not using a mod that creates infinite settlement sizes, the fewer polygons that your object has, the more of them that you can place inside of a settlement. I, of course, suggest using console commands or a mod or some other Bethesda glitch to get around this problem, but be careful. Not all of them work the same. Some of them can cause massive crashing issues later on, so do your homework. Do your homework. I'm not going to sit here and tell you which of them is the best option. That's entirely up to you to figure out. Okay. We got those taken care of. We're going to place the toilet as close to even with the sink as I can here. All right. Mod pause. X10. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's right, not X. I wanted Y -10. Then I wanted X1. Yes, beautiful. Now we zero that in to go ahead and freeze it in place, stop it from doing its nonsense. We're also going to go ahead and place in a toilet paper dispenser right next to it. Make sure that's not a floating object. Yeah, we're good. Okay, good. And then on the other side of it, we'll go ahead and leave a nice newspaper rack. Why not? Everyone likes to read the newspaper while they're on the toilet. Of course. That's a regular thing for people to do. I'm going to place it over here only to start with. Odd angle Z1, 2, 3, or rather 2.5, not 3. 2, 3, 4. And then mod pause X minus 10, 20, 30. Great. Great. Very helpful. Very helpful. Very nice. Very nice. Just simple stuff, you know? Very, very simple stuff. Now, we are going to take the opportunity to place a bunch of these towel hooks on this wall while we're, while we're here. Why not? At least 4, because there are 4 chairs at the dining table. And so, at least 4. Yeah, that works pretty well. I'm going to need one over here, but it's going to be the short one as a hand towel. Make sure that's not floating. Looks like it probably is. Oh, it wasn't, was it? No, it was a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. And these are also floating just a little bit. Alright, that's good. That's good. Nice. Nice. We also need the hand soap. How did I not place the hand soap already? The hand soap on this side. I'm going to try and make it the same level as the top of the sink as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, now that we've got those taken care of, now we can place some of the other cleaning objects in here. That some of them you would expect to be in a bathroom, like a plunger, maybe some maybe a mop, regular stuff. And then a couple other things. We've got the time, we've got the space for it. We can build a shelf right up here and probably place a couple objects down. So let's see. First, I'm going to place the objects that we can't place on shelves, or at least that would be not very useful to place on shelves. So we're going to go over to OC Decorator, Household and Personal Effects, Cleaning and Toiletries. I'm going to place down a mop. That will show up behind the door. Oh, come on. Weird that that's where you want to place, but okay, we can work with that. And then Z minus 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 6 probably would have been okay. Alright, good. We've got a mop placed there. We'll also go ahead and place a plunger. Plunger will be on this side. We don't need a sweeper in this space. It probably wouldn't hurt to place one. Now would it? Oh no, come on. Which of these keys did I end up placing? Okay, good. And 0. And we'll also go ahead and place... Oh, where was it? It was the bucket. That's right, we want to place a bucket in here. Untarnished metal bucket. Why not? Doesn't matter if it's tarnished or untarnished, it is a metal bucket and it needs to be placed. We'll move you into place. Mod pause Y minus 10, 20, 30. 2, 3. There we go. Nice. Now these are, you know, placed up against the wall. Got the bucket there. We got the plunger. Okay, good. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, we're going to place a shelf in here and place a couple of items on top of that shelf. We're going to move over to the furniture, shelves, home section. And we are just going to very simply place one of these metal wall shelves. You can place whatever kind of shelf you want. Maybe you have a mod that creates cooler individual looking shelves. We're not going for anything too fancy. We are just very simply going for a shelf we can place objects on top of. That's all we need for today. I believe right about there is where we're going to place that, right? Yep. That is about it. That is just about it. All right. Well, with all of that in place, now we're going to head on over to the OC Decorator, Household and Personal, and back into the Cleaning and Toiletries section. There's a few things. We're going to place some Abraxo cleaner in here. It is an all-purpose cleaning solution that can even melt bones for all of you aspiring sociopathic killers out there. There we go. Oh, come on. Not that hard. We'll go for a third, why not? It's always nice to have extra. Okay, we're gonna place a couple bars of soap. Just because, you know, someone's gonna need some somewhere. I should probably place one of the soap things inside of the shower itself. That would be very helpful, I imagine. Very helpful. And we'll complete the pyramid. Why not? It will look cool. Gives it a little bit of character. Okay. What else are we placing in here? We are going to place some rat poison. Kind of important to have a supply of rat poison in the apocalypse in case, you know, you've got mole rats or something. Something rolls into town, you know? You can never be too careful. Now we want a couple of other things. We'll put some bobby pins in here. Probably not the only bobby pins we'll place down, but we will place some in here. Just as a bit of extra storage. Place one on top. There we go. Give it a little bit of dynamic placement. Place some bobby pins on top of that box. someone's pulled some out. I don't know. Maybe for hair reasons, maybe for crime reasons. Who knows? Who knows? Both are equally possible, though. It is the apocalypse. Even if they're living in a nice town, you never know. Okay, and now with that out of the way, let's look at the shelf. The shelf is, I mean, that's pretty well set up for this. We don't want it to be like too well stocked. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We could probably put the feather duster on here as our last little object. Yeah. Yeah, it's in the same, same room as all of our other cleaning stuff would be. So, yeah. Okay, good. That's a nice little shelf. It's a good placement for the shelf, all that kind of stuff. It gives us plenty of room to walk around inside the bathroom as well. Also kind of important. You don't want to be all cramped inside the bathroom. So, we are going to go back into the decorations miscellaneous bathroom and place one more soap tray, this time on this wall over here. Yeah, we'll place you right about there. Why not? Click Mod Pause X1, 2, there we go. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, that's all we need to do for the bathroom interior. We'll come back and do the lights after we've decorated the other rooms. Now we've got the 2 bedrooms to work on. Wonderful. Wonderful. We are just about an hour into today's stream and a third of the way down, it seems, for all these interior rooms. Great. If we have, another hour we can spend on each of these rooms, then, all right. I guess that's another hour we have to spend on each of these rooms. Not the end of the world, but, it would be a little surprising to me if it takes an hour for me to decorate each of these room spaces. Now, one of these I'm going to turn into the master bedroom. I think I'm probably going to turn this one into the master bedroom. Yes. Yeah, probably. Probably this one. Okay, and so the master bedroom is going to need a master bed. So, furniture, beds, double. And I believe, let's see. Why not go for the red sheets? I don't place red sheet beds very often. Yeah, we'll go for you. We'll make sure you're lined up properly. Odd angle Z1, or rather 0.5, not 1. Okay, that's pretty darn close. I think that's about as close as we need to get for this today. And I believe we're very close on the actual object placement itself. Are we good now? Nope. Okay, that should be good. That should be fine. Great. Now, that only leaves a little bit of space to walk in on each side, so let's hope that our NPCs don't get stuck here. But we will place a dresser here, because the door will swing in this way. We might place a little something back here, but mostly the dresser's going to be here, and then we can, work with all the other decorations other than that. Let's see. I want to go to Homemaker, Furniture, Containers, Home, and I'm looking for the large dresser. Yes, we love the large dresser. Dresser for the master bedroom. 3 drawers for each person. Alright. Why 10, not 20. Maybe 15 would have been the right move. Ooh, just about, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm gonna move it a little bit to the right. Not left, I said right. Just so that there's still space that you can move around that corner if you need to. I imagine NPCs are going to have a little bit of trouble with this, but Bethesda is Bethesda. That's just how it works. If you're building this house as a house for yourself, or using these principles in building your own houses, wonderful. Wonderful. You can figure out NPC pathing on your own, and I'm sure that there are plenty of mods to help with that. I, however, am not extremely concerned with NPC pathing as, like, the prime directive here. Now, I would like to place something else. What else do I want to place in here? Maybe... No, that's not what I'm looking for. We'll go back to the furniture section. We'll go furniture, tables, home. Looking for just a small... Yeah, something like this. Something like this we can place over here. I'd like to move it just a little bit more to the right. I think that's as close to perfect as we're going to get here for placement. Yeah, pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Okay, door swings open that way. There'll be something back here. What is going to be back here? Good question. Very good question. We're going to move over to Decorations, Miscellaneous, Electronics, Radios, and we're going to place a nice Diamond City radio. Doesn't matter which one you place, figure out whatever you're up for placing, and then, you know, just place one down there. You can also place anything down here. You could place a vase, some flowers, probably, you know, some cigarettes or cigars or whatever. Whatever you feel like placing down here. I'm going to place a radio, though, and then move it into place. That's the big thing. Great. All right. That works well. Now we have a lot of decoration we can place in here. Well, of course, we need to place some paintings and clocks and all that stuff, but we'll wait until after the rooms themselves are decorated before we worry about things to place on the walls. Other than, of course, you know, the shelf objects. But that's those objects other than the shelf. Those objects themselves aren't placed on the wall. They're just raised. Whatever. It's not important. You know what I'm saying. You understand what I'm getting to. Let's go over to OC Decorator. Personal items. We'll start with the Decor and General Items section. We're going to need some alarm clocks, of course. And it would make sense if we could place them on top of here, but we can't, can we? No. So we're going to place them on the ground. Select them. And move them around like this. We got one for you, and we'll have to do the same over here. For you. Beautiful. And of course, you know, you zero it out to make sure that the object stays in place. All right, good job. Good job. Let's see. What else do I want to place up here? This seems a little barren, you know. Little too barren up there. I think we're gonna go with some personal effects items. Let's see. Let's go with maybe some keys. Yeah, we could go generic keys. I like that. Generic keys sounds like a great idea, actually. Okay. Now, I think, ooh, yes, we'll place some bobby pins and maybe a caps stash. Cap stash would be really cool. No, we can place it above the clock. Why not? All right. Those are nice and located. All right, good job. Good job, everyone. I'm glad you guys are keeping up, watching along. Always glad to have you guys here. Okay, do I want to place anything else up there? Maybe a painting, or rather a photo. Maybe we'll put a photo up there. Not a painting. Yeah, picture frames. Here we go. Here we go. How about we put a boat? Or is that a ship? That would be a ship, not a boat. I don't know why it says boat, but it would be a ship. It's the size of the thing. Boats. Ships can carry boats. Boats cannot carry ships. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. And then one more thing. We'll place one more object. How about we have it be, yeah, a vase of flowers. How about we go with that? We'll go with, ooh, something simple. You know, something not too wide. Can't be too wide. Yeah, we'll go with the red. We've got the blue one downstairs. We'll go with the red one up here. That looks pretty solid. Great. Great. Okay, that's a lot of decoration. Very happy about all that. Very happy about that. And we've still got some room to place things over here. Okay, what are we going to place over here? We're going to place a couple things. We're going to go into lights, or rather power, lights. We want table lights. We're going to place one of these guys. I like that shape. I like that shape. I think that works well for the space. Oh. There we are. Provides a bit of light already. Great. Great. Okay, we're also going to place a couple more objects from OC Decorator. I just wanted to get the lamp out of the way because that one's always annoying to place. Gonna stay in personal effects over here, general decor and general items. We're gonna move all the way back this direction, all the way towards the left. We're going to pick up an undamaged American flag because someone who lives here was a veteran of the Minutemen. Maybe they still are in the Minutemen, but it's awarded for their service. We'll place that up there. We'll go ahead and we'll place also a fan that's facing this direction because I don't necessarily know if we're going to have enough room to fit a ceiling fan in here. In case we don't, we've got one here. Great. Yeah, there we go. A little bit more equitable airflow right there. And a couple of other objects. Which were the ones I was thinking? Yes, we will place a camera over on one side, and we'll place a telephone as well. That's one thing we are trying to expand to the Minutemen. They're trying to get Commonwealth-wide communication to be very, very accessible. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we've already got some cigarettes down here. I don't think we need to place some up here. I think we're probably okay with just, what we've got here. Looks pretty solid. Very happy with that look. Very, very happy with that look. Now, what else do I want to place in here? Anything? I mean, I don't know. I think we've done pretty well. We've done pretty well with this section so far. We're probably okay. We are probably okay. If I were to... Oh, yes, the cap stash. We didn't place a cap stash. That's what I wanted to do. We're going to place a cap stash right underneath the bed. Just, peeking out just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I was wondering what I was forgetting. Okay, and then a pair of wedding rings. Probably a nice idea. It's the thought that counts. Okay. And I do not want to give a launch key. That would be a bad idea. Probably not the smartest. We'll place some dog tags as well. Those dog tags are floating. Of course they are. Nice. All right. I like it. I like it. I think it worked. I think it worked out the best for us. That little section there. Okay. We've got the bed. We've got the master bedroom and one of the bathrooms taken care of, or rather, the master bedroom and the bathroom upstairs taken care of. We don't have a second upstairs bathroom. We've just got the the other bedroom here. Now this, we're gonna kit this guy out with two kids' beds. That's what we're gonna do. This is gonna be a kids' room. Gonna be a kids' room. First, we're gonna set game hour to 10, and then we're gonna force weather to 0002 B52A. Just trying to get. I'm trying to make sure you guys remember what that one is. Now we're gonna move over to settlement markers furniture in this section here, and we are going to place a couple of kids' beds. Sadly, we don't have any kids' beds that, you know, actually have, like, bedding on them. This is what we've got, so this is what we'll go ahead and work with. This is what we'll handle. Okay, mod angle Z.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of that, we're just gonna go with a full 1. 0.1, 2, 3. Right? No, that works better. Okay. Okay, nice. Nice. Couple of kids' beds. You gotta love it. I mean, there's plenty of kids in this, there's plenty of kids in this settlement. We've got an entire schoolhouse for all the kids we could possibly need in this settlement. Just over there, which I guess we can't see right now because it's an unloaded set of, it's an unloaded, part of the map right now. Okay. Anyway, what this means is we're gonna need a couple of kids' dressers. And then other kid stuff, you know, just other fun kid stuff to go in here. Okay, we're going to go over to Homemaker Furniture Containers Home. And do we need a changing table? Probably not a changing table, to be completely honest. These kids probably don't need to be changed anymore. But we'll go ahead and place this down. Odd angle Z.1. Nope, not 0.1. It was 1. Great. Nice and snug so that the door doesn't hit it. And then we'll just do this on the opposite end. Nice. Okay. It's very uniform, very standard, but you know, it's a kid's room. It's a kid's room, and it's a 2-bedroom household. You work with what you have. You work with what you have. We will do a couple things in here. We'll go over to Decorations, Miscellaneous Household. Yes, we're going to place some clean sheets on top of the dressers. Perfect location to keep your clean sheets instead of on the bed. Why would you do that? Why would you put your sheets on the bed? Obviously. Obviously, that's where you want to place them. No, but we'll actually move these to the other side. And then we'll go back into OC Decorator, Household, Personal Effects, General Items. We need a couple things. We need a desk fan for each of them. And we need alarm clocks, which I think are actually further back this way. Yes. We'll go with the standard alarm clocks. You know, the parents need the Wake Masters because they have somewhere to be. They've got lots of stuff going on. The regular ones should work fine. Because if the parents get up on time, they can very easily make sure their kids get up on time. There we go. And then toys. Obviously, the kids need some toys on their stuff. Great. And let's see. We can probably put another toy up here. Why not? Yeah, we'll go with a sloth toy. Great. Now we'll go over to, where would that be? Would that be in the workshop section? Maybe. Or would that be in... Oh, no, that would be in Entertainment. Yes, OC Decorator Entertainment. That's where you'll find the little robot models. Yeah, we love the robot models. We've talked about the robot models before in a previous build that we did for Jamaica Plains. I believe that was the general store that we talked about the little robot models. These are cool. These are lots of fun to play with. And let's say, yeah, they'll also have a toy car. But theirs is blue, because blue is really cool. And, yeah, we'll give them a teddy bear. Ooh, that teddy bear's rather sizable. Okay. Rather sizable teddy bear. I guess no teddy bear then? Which seems kind of sad, but no, we can place you there. Yeah, we'll place you there and then we'll move you into place. Alright, cool. Cool. We got all that stuff taken care of for the kids. What else do we want to put in here? What else can we go ahead and put in here? I'm sure there's a couple things, and I'm just not thinking of it right now. What might I be missing? What would I be... I don't think I'm missing anything, am I? Oh, you know what? Actually, that would probably be a good idea. We'll go over to furniture, tables, home. We're going to place... just one of you. Just a simple little end table. Okay, we're gonna place that, and then we'll come in here and we'll place a little desk, a little table lamp, you know? Go with the big yellow one, harder to knock over. Kind of important in a kid's room. Kind of important in a kid's room. Nice. All right. All right. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. We are close to halfway done with our stream for the day, which is kind of surprising given the amount of stuff that we've gotten done in such a short amount of time, but okay. Okay, I guess we're just on the ball today. I don't know. I don't know. It's you guys, really. It's the fact that you guys are watching. That's what's making this fly by super fast for me. You guys are doing great. I mean, I hope you guys are doing great at the very least. I really do. I feel like I'm forgetting something for these rooms, other than, of course, you know, I need to put lights on the ceiling or whatever. I feel like I'm forgetting something important for these rooms. Am I forgetting something important? Ooh, this isn't what I was thinking, so it's not exactly what what I thought I was missing, but what I will do, kind of a big deal. Furniture, containers, storage. We are gonna put a little walled gun safe. Yeah, we're gonna place one of these guys. Oh man, I was gonna sneeze. And it doesn't want to let me sneeze anymore. Ugh. I hate that feeling. Alright, we're gonna start with you up there. We need to move you into the wall. And then down. Okay, is that the best though? Because if I were to open this, I wouldn't have the full range of motion, would I? No, I wouldn't. Let's see. Maybe we'll go for just the smaller wall safe. These ones are pretty ubiquitous. It'll just be a pistol in there at most, but okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. Oh, I didn't mean. Ugh, every time. Okay, every time. Let's go. Snappy builds wallpapers. Shared interior wall. Okay, good. It is the last thing we placed down. That's helpful. That's very helpful. All right, well, that is, that's going to work well there. We can't really put it in the floor because, I mean, you've only got about, what is that? Maybe a foot. I would say probably closer to like 6 inches of depth between the floor and the and the room below. So you probably can't put... Yeah, a floor safe wouldn't work very well. Wouldn't be the smartest move, a floor safe. Alright. Sorry, just got some notifications that are not important, but they looked like they might have been. Alright, we've got the wall safe there. What else? I feel like I'm missing something else that should be placed in here. I don't think there really is anything I'm missing. It just feels like I'm missing something. It really does feel like I'm missing something. Something important. Something that should have jumped out to me earlier. No? Okay. I guess I'm not missing anything. That's fine. That's fine. In that case, we'll go ahead and put the clocks on the walls. We'll go furniture, SOE pack, clock. We'll go ahead and place them down. We got a clock over here. We'll move you over a little bit. Yeah. Move you over about there, in fact, and then we'll leave this space open for a nice painting. We'll put one here in the kids' room. The kids' room does, of course, need a clock. Need to make sure that they, other than their alarm clocks, it's nice to have a wall clock there. Because when you first wake up, the last thing you want to do is to have to tell time on a massive object like that. It would be easier to just know, oh, I'm supposed to be awake right now. But it's a nice little tool. And then in here, we've got really only one space to place a clock, don't we? Really only one space. That's fine. Works well enough for me. We don't need anything in this hallway space. That's all good. The bedrooms are clocked up. Yes. Good. Now we've got some room for a couple paintings. Just a couple paintings. We're going to go decorations, wall decorations, and paintings. I think we're going to go with some traditional paintings. Yes. Yes, some traditional paintings would be nice. Very nice. I do like that lighthouse. I mean, this one, we know where this one is. That's Kingsport Lighthouse. But I do like that one. That one is maybe also Kingsport Lighthouse, but I prefer the red top. The red top looks really cool. All right. Yeah, that's about as centered on that wall as it's going to be. I mean, we'll probably move this clock a little closer to center on this wall. There we go. And does that need to go into the wall? Oh, it does. All right, well, there we go. That's into the wall on that one. And I hope I don't need to on these. It doesn't look like I need to on this one, and probably not on this one either. No, we're good there. Okay. In here, let's go with some kitty art. You know, we're gonna go with some dogs. Yeah, nice dog painting. But we'll go frame 1. Pick up the dog. Everyone likes dogs. Well, most people, sane people, they like dogs. I know what I said. Fight me. There we go. Yeah. That's good. That works. Now, I know that the clock will be covered up by the door a little bit, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. I could probably make it about even. Yeah, might as well. There we go. That's better. A little bit. Just a little bit better. Okay. Okay, do I want to make this? Yeah, I do. I do want to make this a bit even. A bit more even, at the very least. Great. Okay, good. Good. Yes. Okay. We've got lots of empty wall space up here. That's not something we want. We want to place objects up here. We want to place some paintings. What paintings do I have down here? Got landscape painting and one of the barn paintings. Okay. Cool. And we'll place a ship painting. I do like the ship painting. SHIP, not the other one. All right, then. Then over here, we're gonna go with why not a portrait? You know, maybe a family member. Yeah, we'll say it's a family member's portrait. You know, we'll go with that. Nice. That's good. That's good. I don't want to place anything. I mean, I don't want to place anything here for sure, because if it falls, then it falls all the way down to the bottom floor. That's not very smart. Don't really want to place anything there. I could rotate this guy around, probably. Yeah, just place him over there. Nice. All right, cool. We'll move it up. Yeah, a little bit to the left there. Okay, good. Good. That kind of balances out the space a bit. A little bit. It's a very, very empty hallway. I don't know. What else do I want to put up here? Ooh, hold on. That's something we could probably put up here. No problem. We will go furniture tables home. We will grab one of, where is it? No, furniture rather containers home. Oh, where was it? I know I probably skipped over it twice now, didn't I? Yes, there it is. The clean cabinet. That's all I was looking for. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, about centered. That looks about right. I'll place you there, and we can place a bunch of alcohol on top of you. OC Decorator. I'm gonna go kitchen and dining beverages, and we'll place a bunch of alcohol on here. Go with some bourbon. Some whiskey. Some Bobrovs. Very common out here, Bobrovs. And then, you know, maybe a bottle of wine, you know? Yeah, we'll go with a bottle of wine. For the special nights. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Now we'll place some glasses down. So, dinnerware. I like these. I like the short glasses that we use. Explicitly for this. This is more of my design language coming through. I like to use the short glasses for alcohol. Even if it's not completely necessary, I just like its look. Very much so. And then, you know what? Why not? We'll go over. Nope. OC Decorator, office lounge. Yeah, we'll place some more smokes. We'll place a little bit more. This time we'll place a dirty ashtray up here. And because I really do enjoy the challenge, we are going to try and place a cigarette, a lit cigarette, on top of the dirty ashtray in exactly the right position. It's a nice little challenge, you know, keeps you nimble, keeps you on your toes. That one wasn't too bad, I don't think. Not bad at all. Yeah, we can really inspect it up close. Look at that. Right inside of the little divot. Perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for. All right. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, we'll place you. Yeah, how about there? And then we'll go ahead and find our lighter. And another pack. It wasn't just smoking in the 50s, it was chain smoking. I know the movie I'm about to reference is technically from the late 30s, early 40s, but Casablanca. No one just smokes one cigarette in that movie. No one just smokes one cigarette. It's at least 3. If they're smoking in a scene, they're chain smoking. It's wild. It's wild. Okay, I like that. I like that. Helps to fill out the space just a little bit. Could I maybe put anything else? I mean, we could probably put could probably put a maybe a chair in here. Yeah, we could put a chair in here. Something cozy, something comfortable. Furniture, seats, clean chairs. Something cozy, comfortable, something that would fit the space, maybe. Maybe this, yeah? I don't know. Worth a shot? Worth a shot? There we go. All right. Yeah. That fits the space well, and we can find a different chair. I've got, again, renovated furniture. Is one of the mods I've downloaded, although it's not extremely core to what we're doing today. If you happen to download it, it's nice. It's got a lot of stuff here. Got a lot of good stuff here. We'll place a chair out here. Why not? And then I think right here we're gonna place another one of these guys, these fancy tables, whatever they're called. I'm gonna go back to tables, home, and grab you. Okay. There we go. There we go. We'll place one of you, and on top of you, this time we'll place some flowers. Yeah, the flowers would work best. So OC Decorator, household and personal, general items, all the way back over here. We're gonna place some flowers. Actually, no, we're just gonna place an empty vase. Yeah, we've got plenty of flowers around. We'll place. I like this. I like the flared vase. Place you right about there, and then above you we're gonna go ahead and place an animal trophy, something cool. Decorations, wall decorations, mounted creatures. We're gonna place something cool, something rather regional, you know. Nothing too insane, but something regional. Maybe there was a mirelurk infestation in that pond. I don't know. You know? Yeah, we'll go with the mirelurk claw. These are just NPCs after all. They are not supposed to be the most powerful guys in the game. Does not make sense that everyone's OC needs to be the most powerful thing in the world. I often think that that's probably not the best way to write a story. If you make your characters seem like regular people, then all the better. All the better. They can be more relatable and easier to write, to be completely honest. Just a lot simpler to write as characters. Okay, that's some solid decoration there for the hallway, if I do say so myself. I always found that phrase to be a bit strange, you know? If I do say, well, of course you say so yourself. You're saying it. Whatever. Let's go ahead and reset the time. Set game hour to 10. And, ooh, the weather's nice and clear right now, isn't it? Okay, good. Until it isn't clear, we'll leave it just where it is. Now, we need to go ahead and place... We need to go ahead and place our ceiling bits. Yes, we need to go place our ceiling bits. Oh boy. Okay. Here's how we're gonna do this. Here's how this is going to work. Oh, okay. Yep, we're just gonna come back around this way. There we go. Okay. We are going to go into OC Decorator. Not OC Decorator, sorry. We're gonna go into Snappy Builds. We're gonna go into Shell Kit. We're gonna go into the floors section. The floors wood clean, of course, as is our standard so far. Now the wood grain travels the length of the building. You always want the wood grain to travel the length of the building, and because this is 3 long by 2.5 wide, it travels the length, so the 3 long. Very important because if the direction of the wood grain is the same direction as the length of your building, no matter the size of the building, it makes it seem larger. That's just kind of just building psychology, I guess. All right, so we're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 of you first. And then in here, we're going to place as close to, well, for here, as close to this line as we can. Centered. I believe that's about the location. All right, power, lights, ceiling. We did a lot of this yesterday. Is that... Ooh, that is super close to center. Not exactly, but super, super close. There we go. That is just about center. Nope, never mind. There we go. Now we're centered. Okay. I want to hold on to that one there because next thing we're doing, and to make sure that all of these lights all match up perfectly well, and the same here. There we go. So at least on one axis, we know these lights are perfectly located. So we just have to make the second axis match up. There we go. Second axis on that one matches up, and second axis on this one should also match up in just a second. Great. Great. Okay. Okay, so now we can place all of the different additional lights on top of it. Of course, for the bathroom space, we like to go with our ceiling light. Click disable, place, enable, mod pause Z27 and 0. There we go. Nice and super bright. Look at how obscenely bright that is in the middle of the day with natural sunlight also coming into the space. That will change as the daylight changes. And in here, we're going to do this twice now. Mod pause Z20 and 0. And just place you right there. Okay. Wonderful. And you're not going to collide with any objects either. Good. Good. That was my major concern, is not colliding with objects. There we go. Perfect. Okay, great. Great. So now we can come in here and go to Shell Kit, inside of Snappy Build. So Snappy Build shell kit, floors, clean, and then use wood grain traveling the length of the object. We're going to use the half block pieces, cover that section up, and we've just got the full block pieces here. So the first one we're going to place is the one we're going to place the actual light on, just again to get it all centered the best as we can. Now on top of this, we're just going to go with our standard ceiling light. We don't need a fan in this section, because this is just a hallway. Just a hallway. And, you know, all of the placement commands so that it all matches up. Wonderful. Nice and beautiful right there. Okay. Okay, and then on top of here, we're just going to go into the clean floors inside of shell kit and just finish this placement up. Wonderful. Now we're going to work on the roof section. The roof is not going to be accessible via the actual building itself. You know, you're not going to be able to get into whatever attic space we have up here. This is just going to be here because we're going to place it here. Now there's two types of roofs you can build inside of the Snappy Build. You can build angled roofs and flat roofs, and we've got a mixture of both throughout our build here. That is an angled and flat. These are mostly flats. We got some angles over here. Of course, we've got the angled on top of the church, and then if we come way over this direction, you will see as it loads in slowly. There we go. We've got the angled and flat combo on top of the schoolhouse. So you can build any variety of it, but if we're building very simply, if we're staying with the Snappy Build shell kit set and not deviating too far, then we've got two major options. We've got flat roofs and we've got angled roofs. Now, angled roofs are the classic shingled roofs. There's the classic shingle roofs, and then there's also these metal roof pieces right here. The design I tend to go for this town happens to mostly be flat roof sections, more or less. However, the reasoning behind that is rather simple. I've got very simple reasoning for it. The Minutemen in general have a very colonial aesthetic to them. You know, they're trying to remain consistent with their colonial ideals. The ideals of the Minutemen of the late 18th century, and I imagine a lot of their architectural ideals would be very similar. You know, extremely similar themes. The Brotherhood of Steel, all of their stuff is very militaristic, very diesel punk almost. All of the architecture, at least, is very diesel punk, even if the tech is atom punk. It's mass produced. It's galvanized steel, a bunch of standard stuff. It makes sense that the Minutemen would go for, the Minutemen in general have a very down-to-earth approach to everything, so it makes sense that they would use easily reproducible materials that are still very sturdy. They probably aren't going to go for massive metal monstrosities. That's probably not their thing. If they're going to build large structures, maybe like, refurbishing this church over here, it's probably going to be, not as massive of a church as, humanly possible, but it's going to be easily reproducible, easily maintained. So we are going to work with the Snappy Build shell kit inside of the roof section all the way over here. We're going to work with the slate roofs. Yes. Okay, and we want to try and match the theme here, and you can tell which theme is which by what the color of the window bits happen to be. Now here, the window color is, or the brick on the side of the window matches the brick on these walls here, and that happens to, of course, also be theme 1. Be careful, some of them will match up well, some of them won't necessarily. Now, the big debate here, and it's not a real massive debate, but the big question, of course, is do I want to create an open space for another window, or is it not necessary? The answer is probably that it's not necessary as a whole, and it's just a nice little aesthetic touch that we can add. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. It's just going to be a nice little aesthetic touch for us. We can go with 2 on the back, 2 on the front, and then just your standard roof piece in the center. These roof pieces can be kind of finicky to place, so take your time. Take your time, figure your angles out, understand how everything gets placed. We've still got this big gap here. Luckily, we won't have that massive gap for too long. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. There are some solutions. However, finding those solutions is the real question. It's the real problem, finding those solutions. But to match, we of course need to use the theme 1 roof gable walls in order to match what we're going for here. And then we need to use one of the shared wall parts, theme 1, and our half wide. Now on top of this is where it gets a little bit tricky. On top of this section, we need to place something essentially similar to this, however, not, you know? It probably doesn't make any sense, and that's okay. I don't necessarily know how best to explain this. We could try for a mash of the two. In fact, a mash of the gabled, not of the gabled, of the what was it called? Of the slate roofs with the flat roofs is probably what we're going to end up going with here. But I just want to make sure that we're not going too crazy here with some of our design ideas, that it all still matches up and is still functional. All right. Looks like it. Looks like it's still pretty functional there. Now, we're going to go back into the slate roofs, theme 1. Not theme. Where did theme 2 come into play? Did I use any? It doesn't look like I used any theme 2s. Good. Okay. The theme 1. And what we're looking for now is we want to use these roof cap top pieces to go ahead and close up any of the gaps that we find. Very helpful. Very nice little design bit there. And you will notice there's still this very nasty looking edge that we've got here to really the whole building. Not very appealing. Not very appealing at all. So we're going to go over to the stone trims, because these are the only trims that are angled properly, the way we need them to be, and we're going to attach the stone trims to the walls here to fill in that gap section. And then on this top section here, which is a little underwhelming, on this top section, we can't do the same. It just won't work precisely. So instead, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to probably resort to one of the wood trims. Not the end of the world. There's some nice wood trim pieces. There's these thin wood trims, but I think we're going to go for the thicker wood trim piece. There we go. Shell roof wood trim 02 half 01. That is what it is called. We're going to attach you there, and you on the other side, and then we're going to attach the corner pieces if we can. If not, it looks like probably not. Okay. Now, what would my solution be to this? I think my solution is going to be to use console commands. Yes, that is my solution. Console commands to raise the object, and then to snap the objects back on, and then to lower all three. Just as we had plenty of practice doing yesterday. And now that it's all lowered into place, I can do more modification. Because this is properly aligned on the XY axis, it's a much simpler process than it probably would have been before. We're in fact going to mod pause Z 0.1 to all three of these. And then mod pause Z, not Z, X 10, 20, not 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Okay. 26 in on your side and 0 you out. We're going to 0 out this centerpiece. And then you, we're going to move by negative 26 on the x-axis because it should all be about even. And then 0 you out. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. That works very well. Is it a perfect fit? No. It's very hard to find a perfect fit for any of this kind of stuff. Very hard to find a perfect fit for any of this stuff because as detailed as the Bethesda creation kit objects are, and therefore the Snappy build kit objects are, it is not perfect. It is not all-consuming. It is not a complete system. That's just the way it works. That's just the way it works because, well, that's a Bethesda game. You get used to it. You'll find that you'll substitute certain mods in because, ooh, I can see how this will work perfectly with this other thing I'm doing. But overall, you get used to it. You get very comfortable working with the project as is, and you learn to enjoy it. Now mod pause Z minus 50. 0 it out. And I think we're going to lower this guy. Mod pause Z minus 0.003. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, wonderful. The little glitching texture stopped. We'll do that with you as well. And now, as we go out front here, you will see just how well all this worked out. Nice. Works really well. Now, that's not it. We're going to put some wood trim wall sections on the sides here as well to fill it out, make it feel nice and uniform. But this is generally the idea, generally the process here. I enjoy using the shell kit because the sort of colonial aesthetic both really fits Boston, of course. Of course it would fit Boston very well, but also really fits with the Minutemen ideal. They adhere to important historic traditions, the kinds of historic traditions that have built and maintained nations throughout history. The kinds of traditions that prize the ingenuity and individuality of humanity over what they can provide the state or whatever the broader people as a whole, because it is the individual that makes up the community, not the community that is responsible for the individual. That's kind of, it's like the more you really get into all of this stuff, the more you'll start to see some of that. Ooh, we probably don't need. Yeah, we probably don't need these. I'll find another use for these for the white wooden pieces. Probably don't need these to travel the same sections that we've already attached the stone pieces to. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that looks really fine, actually. Yay! I'm very happy about that. That came together pretty well. Came together very, very well. All right. Well, that's the thing. We did it. We built the thing. We built the thing. Now the only thing left to do, of course, is to place all of the doors. All of the doors we haven't placed yet, which is 4 doors. We need to place 4 doors, but that's the whole build. That's the entire build. This is definitely going to end up being a smaller stream than usual. We're not done right this second, but it's probably not going to go on for the full 3 hours because the rest of this stream after we place these doors is just basically going to be, you know, Q&A, FAQ kind of stuff. You know, lots of questions that tend to be asked when you start to get into this process. How X, Y, and Z works, because I've had a lot of practice. I'm not going to know the answer to every single possible question you could ask, but I will do my best to answer as many as I assume you're likely to have. Okay. Yay, that's good. I'm very happy with this. Very happy with how this turned out. And this isn't the only thing that you can build in the Snappy kit. Every single building that I've built for the Jamaica Plains build, as well as everything I added to the castle build that was a physical building, all of those were made with Snappy Build, the Snappy Build menu. And you can build a ton of things. You can build this really cool-looking courthouse. Of course, you can build this massive church. They have a kit specifically designed for building churches. That's where you get these really cool, massive windows from, and all this nice woodwork. You can build all sorts of things. Anything that you can imagine, there's probably a mod out there that will help you build it. And the Snappy Build mod is pretty comprehensive. Pretty comprehensive when it comes to the physical structures that you're interested in building. But all of these things that I've added here, anything that I have built on stream, anything that has been the subject of a stream VOD, all of those have been built with Snappy Build. All it takes is time and an idea, and you can build pretty much anything you're really interested in. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun when you get down to it. When you actually go ahead and really, you know, really focus in on what you're looking to build. It's a lot of fun to do. It's just really solid stuff. Really solid stuff. Okay. Okay, so the rest of this is basically just going to be Q&A, you know? It's not going to be an extremely large amount of Q&A, but I am first going to make sure I grab ourselves a nice-looking screenshot because we completed the house. I'm very proud of the house that we've completed. I hope you guys enjoy the house that we've completed, and that this little tutorial can help you guys come to some of your own, design some of your own things here. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. It looked like the wallpaper was gone for a second. No, it's just a very faint texture at this angle. All right, we are going to move into our free cam. We'll find the right angle here. I like that. Set game hour to 18 or 6 p.m. Give us the nice golden hour light. TM. Screenshot it. We'll go for it from a different angle as well, just to see which one I like better. Probably the first one, to be completely honest, but it's worth getting a couple more. You know, not the end of the world. Weather 002 B52A, because it's starting to rain. Yes, we need to make sure we're in TM, the toggle menu section. And I do want to very temporarily disable that. All right, TM. There we go. Beautiful. All right. I love it. Very happy with the progress we've made. It's a nice little reprieve. It gives me a little bit of time to really focus in on what I next need to build. There's a few more municipal buildings we need to build for this series, and we'll get to those on other days. You know, I need a post office. I need a police. I need a police precinct. I need a few other municipal bits. Some checkpoints at each of the entrances and exits, of course, and then just a lot of public spaces, you know, whether it's residential or whether it's parks or whatever it happens to be. A lot of public spaces need to be built out here. It's mostly going to be boring, but I'll try my best to, you know, if it's an interesting one, I'll build it on camera. Otherwise, I'll probably just do a lot of off-camera work for it. But that's not the focus of today. The focus of today is this fun tutorial house that we built. TFC. Enable. That should... There we go. The sign's back. Beautiful. 210. All right, wonderful. So the rest of today is basically going to be talking about like the general FAQ stuff that comes up here. I have seen a couple of comments saying, "Hey, I've downloaded Snappy House Kit. It's not showing up in my build menu. What's the deal with that?" I would first say if you're downloading things on PC, the best way to download them is to download them directly from Nexus Mods or from an actual mod site. Do not download them from Bethesda because, first and foremost, if the mods are uploaded by the original uploader on Bethesda, the directions are not always going to be as clear, and on a web page, it's going to be a lot easier to see, oh, okay, these are the things I need. Here's the core pieces of information. You know, you can get very good at scanning documents and be like, and recognize, okay, these are the important things that I take in. In the case of Snappy Build, you might try downloading Settlement Menu Manager. You might try downloading SMM to ensure that any settlement mod related things, they do show up in the menu. It's very important. It's not mentioned as a requirement for the mod, so I'm going to say it's most likely not your fault for missing this. It's not written down as a requirement mod inside of the requirements section on the Nexus page. However, I do have it installed, and Snappy in the Snappy House Kit or the Snappy Build menu shows up perfectly fine for me, so give that a try if that's your first question. On top of that, I've seen other questions I've seen other questions not just for my content, of course, but for a lot of different settlement related settlement build videos, because I love watching settlement build videos. It's where I get certain ideas from. It's like, ooh, that's cool. I would like to put my spin on that. When I was coming to terms with, which settlement I was going to work on after the castle, I thought, okay, what are some other solid ones out there? I don't want to be a copycat, and I don't want to make exactly what someone else is making, but I'd like to see what else is going on out there. There was this one YouTube channel, I believe it's Spooner D. I believe that's what it is. I don't know. I follow a bunch of smaller Fallout channels that focus on settlement building. I think it was Spooner D. DEE. It's all one name. His stuff, one of the videos that I found of his was, hey, what his process was for going in and rebuilding different structures that he found. And Jamaica Plains, specifically the town hall, was his example. Now he takes the angle of he enjoys when it's all grimy and dirty and broken down. He just wants the structure to be rebuilt, mostly. I don't take that angle. I like the idea that it can be cleaned, it can be refurbished. I like the idea of the Commonwealth in rehabilitation instead of in ruin. So, of course, I made my own modifications to it, and we, I mean, that whole series you can watch. There was I believe that was episode 16 or 17 is when we started on the Jamaica Plains build, and this was the first thing we built. But always recognize someone else is going to have probably had the idea that you're thinking of, and it's not plagiarism to say, I want to do something similar to that. Let's see how they did the thing. So don't ever be afraid of that. Just don't pass off an idea as yours originally if it's not yours originally. Give credit where it's due. For instance, this schoolhouse is based off of a real schoolhouse. I did not create the idea of this schoolhouse. This is the Dent Schoolhouse in Ohio. Apparently it's like a haunted house attraction now. I don't know. But it was at one point a real schoolhouse, and I thought, I like that. That seems like it would fit in place. I'm going to build that. Again, you can watch that whole process live on, well, not live anymore. You can watch that entire process in the VOD section, you can watch the 3 VODs, which were the 3 previous VODs to this tutorial, these tutorials. But occasionally, an idea just comes to you. Like, hey, I want to build a public occurrences office here in Jamaica Plains. How is that going to work out? What's the layout even going to be? And we figured out every one of those details live on stream, and then you can, again, go and check out the VOD for it. But sometimes it just comes to you, sometimes it takes a little bit of inspiration, and sometimes just know what your general idea for the settlement as a whole is going to be. When I was building the castle, I thought, okay, the castle is a military installation. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. The castle's a military installation, specifically for the Minutemen. So it needs to be rebuilt, it needs to be restored, most importantly, because it's not going to just become a massive, modern militaristic location. It's going to be restored to what the structure probably originally was intended to be. And then any new buildings are going to have a similar design aesthetic. Because it's the Minutemen that are in charge of the castle in my run, it's probably going to have a very colonial aesthetic. So that was a major design theme for me all throughout. Everything that's there needs to make sense for a military installation. Everything that's there has to have a similar design, and the design needs to fit a colonial aesthetic similar to the Minutemen. For Jamaica Plains, I want to rebuild the town. Maybe turn it into a city, depending on how many buildings we actually end up fitting in here, but at least rebuild the town. And if it's the Minutemen rebuilding it, it's going to architecturally espouse the same values that the Minutemen have. Architecture doesn't just have architecture espouses a lot of the values of the time that the building was originally built. This is why I'm a big fan of buildings built, in the 1920s and 30s, because even if there were hard times, like there were in the 30s, it was still a very hopeful architectural theme. The people still had a lot of hope for the future, even if they were going through hard times in the moment. And I'm a massive fan of the Art Deco art style, which would have been, mid 20s through to about the 40s is when Art Deco kind of died out, and then you got the first steps into modernism in the 50s. But whatever the individual design is that you're going for, make sure it's consistent. Now, if your design is inconsistency, if that's the theme you're going for, wonderful, do that, but be consistent about your inconsistency. Have it all make sense for what you're going for. For me, I do like to take a more grounded approach when I'm building things. Does it make sense that this is placed here? What kinds of buildings are necessary? I know we don't have to use the restroom in Fallout 4, but it's probably a good idea for the verisimilitude of the place, and we'll talk about that term in a second. It's probably a very good idea for the verisimilitude of my settlement build that toilets are readily available. If they're not everywhere, that's fine. They don't need to be everywhere. For instance, this courthouse, it's only got one. And that was an afterthought because I wasn't immediately thinking, oh, that's right, I need to do this thing. It was something that I had to remind myself of, but it's there. It is something that while we don't actually need to use, it makes sense that it should be there. And so of course it is. Now the term verisimilitude, very large term. You should probably look it up. Go to your Siri or your whatever your phone's AI assistant is. Go to them and just look at the official ask them how to spell verisimilitude, and you'll find out how to spell it. But verisimilitude as an idea can be very easily broken down. In fiction, verisimilitude is the idea that everything that you are, regardless of what the topic of fiction is, everything feels authentic. Everything feels like it's supposed to be there, and everything is taken seriously, okay? Whatever, Longfellow. Anyway, everything is taken seriously, makes sense for the space, and feels like it's supposed to be there in the first place. So verisimilitude, one of the best examples of verisimilitude I could possibly give you would be the Christopher Reeves Superman movie from 1978. Sure, a lot of the ideas in that movie, a lot of the effects and everything probably look a bit hokey and a little bit old to us. However, everything in that movie is treated authentically. Everything is treated as if it is supposed to be there. The best satire in the world, everyone within the satire treats it like it's completely serious. But no matter what the effects look like or how absurd the costumes look or how crazy the situation is, everyone takes the situation seriously. That's verisimilitude. Because if the story you're telling treats itself seriously, then the people reading, watching, or listening to it will take itself seriously. And I like to translate that into the world of Fallout 4 in making every one of these buildings feel like it's supposed to be here. I'm not going to build something that just is like, oh, that's just a modern thing. That's just like a house I would build, That's just like, oh, look at that. That's brutalist architecture from the 1970s and 80s. Or, oh boy, look at that, a massive glass building. That kind of just looks like it's supposed to be in our world today. Okay, not super happy about that. Because it immediately pulls you out of the fantasy. It pulls you out of the story you're trying to read or tell or whatever. Because everybody can immediately recognize, oh, this is just the thing I know. This isn't something else. And that breaks the illusion. I don't want to break the illusion when I'm making these things, and I would probably guess most of you wouldn't necessarily want to break the illusion with any of the settlements or any of the storytelling you're doing, whether that's through buildings or through writing or through whatever your kind of storytelling happens to be. That seems like a bit of a tangent, but it's all wrapped up in the question of how do I decide the things I want to build. It comes down to the individual settlement. Like I said with the castle, it's a military installation, specifically a Minutemen military installation, which is going to be different than Boston Airport. I have some specific ideas for Boston Airport and how that's all going to work out, but we'll get to Boston Airport eventually. But Boston Airport continues to be a Brotherhood of Steel installation. So it's going to be a little bit, greasier, a little harsher, a little colder than Minutemen architecture because it's for purely efficient military purposes. It's not about comfort. It's not about personality. It's not about individuality. It's about adherence to code. It's about uniformity. It's about brotherhood. It's about, getting the job done as efficiently and effectively as possible. So that needs to be reflected in the architecture of the space. This is all about building community. If you're trying to build society, if you're trying to rebuild society, you'll do things like create beautiful columns. Columns only happen when you're trying to build civilization, because it's not just a large pole that you place there to support something. It, in and of itself, holds all kinds of architectural details, all kinds of little maker's marks. You get some nice fluting on the actual pillar itself. On top, on the column capital up there, this is an ionic column capital. Why do I know this? Because there are names for these things, because people have taken the time to design them, and the design is so important that people have also taken the time to classify all of these things, because each of them was designed for a specific architectural purpose and an artistic purpose as well. Artistry does not appear without safety. Artistry requires civilization in order to function, because without civilization, without solid, safe community in one form or another, you don't have the time to be artistic. You generally don't. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be sedentary. That doesn't mean that you have to have a stationed civilization. Perhaps your culture is a nomadic culture, or we're talking a pre-civilization culture, whatever it happens to be. Your culture only has the time to make art and artifacts if the people making those art and artifacts feel safe enough to do so, or generally have some of their basic needs taken care of, because then they have the time to devote to artistic license. But that artistry is going to fit whatever the specific culture's idea is. And again, I keep coming back to this. My idea, my playthrough of this, I wanted the Minutemen to become the leaders, and also for 3 of the factions to survive, and for them to have come to have created treaties, to the Minutemen absorbed the railroad, all kinds of stuff. This is a more peaceful Commonwealth than I'm sure a lot of people's playthroughs are, and certainly more peaceful than Bethesda was probably expecting most people to build for their Commonwealth to end up. This only was possible because of a combination of extremely specific mission progression, which I couldn't even tell you all the details of because it was a very complicated process for me, and I'd have to go back and figure out what that process was. And on top of that, one mod that added in some cut content. Okay. But I was very intentional in wanting that for this whole series, because the larger theme I'm going for, which is rehabilitation and rebuilding, is different than generally what a lot of Fallout under Bethesda tends to be. And I want all of my structures to reflect that. I'm sure I'm getting into the weeds. I can talk about this for hours and hours on end, but we'll go over a couple of other things. A very important thing that you should pay attention to is make sure that if you are playing on PC, ensure that you have enough VRAM, which is the memory available on your graphics card. Make sure you have enough VRAM to be able to render all of the things that you're playing. Because if you don't, then you're going to come into you're going to deal with lagging problems. This is also in conjunction with the amount of memory that you have available, and in some cases the type of CPU. You want those 3 things on your PC to be relatively within each other's generation. You want them to be able to keep up with each other, because if one of them is significantly more powerful than the others, or significantly less powerful than the others, it will create a bottleneck. You might have the newest, greatest graphics card out there, but if you don't have enough RAM, your graphics card isn't going to mean anything. If your CPU is 5 or 6 years out of date, sorry, you're probably not going to be able to do too much. So if you're doing all this on PC, I'm sure most of you PC players already know this, but it's a very good thing to keep in mind, especially when modding Bethesda games. It's really, really important. Now, the lag I'm dealing with is a combination of things. One, Fallout 4 is not a well-optimized game. We know this. Even the next-gen update, worse than before. Significantly worse than before. Thankfully, this isn't the next-gen update, but what is a problem for me is a factor of things. First and foremost, I'm having to render a lot of polygonal structures and a lot of polygonal objects at the same time. Fallout 4 is not a super big fan of that. On top of that, this is a larger expansion than what the original settlement was supposed to be. So I'm kind of cheating the system here by having a bigger settlement. Okay, it's going to cause a couple of problems. And the third layer on top of that is I'm recording this and streaming it at the same time. And if that's the case, I'm going to need to dedicate a solid portion of my VRAM and my RAM and my CPU to those things. So I have to multitask all of this stuff. I've got a pretty solid system. I built it about 3 years ago, and it's held up very well. Very, very well. We've got a, was it 2 or 3 years ago? It was about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago at this point. I've got a 3080, an NVIDIA RTX 3080 in here. I've got a very nice, I think it's 3rd gen Ryzen CPU. It's not their lowest tier. It's their middle tier 3rd gen CPU. I've got plenty of RAM in here, but my resources are being split up. I've got the game, I've got streaming the game, and I've got recording the game, and all three of those things have to work together. So when you're building, I'm sure you're probably not going to run into as many problems with lag as I am. Now, if you're on console, I'm very sorry to say this, but you are going to be limited in the things that you can do. We went over this yesterday on the previous stream, but you are going to be limited in the things that you can do. You're not going to be able to have as many mods, or as large necessarily, as large of mods as we on PC can, for a multitude of reasons. But first and foremost, because a console is a mostly static system. You might be able to upgrade the storage on the console. You might be able to, send it in for repairs or refurbishment and get it cleaned up, working a little bit more efficiently. But at the end of the day, console hardware is locked. If you want better console hardware, you have to wait for the next console to be released, or maybe switch consoles to switch brands from Xbox to PlayStation, or from PlayStation to Xbox, or whatever. Consoles are locked with the hardware that they have, which is a massive limiting factor. This is not to say that consoles are inherently bad. Obviously, I'm a PC player, so I'm going to think that the PC is the best way to play games because it's the way I've chosen to play games. Now, I can give you all of the objective reasons why PCs are like functionally, within the real world, functionally superior in terms of wanting to play games. But at the end of the day, if you want to play on consoles, if the console's the only thing you have access to, or it's your favorite thing to use, that's perfectly fine. You just need to be informed you're going to be limited in what you can do. Many of these mods will be available, especially to you Xbox players, because Xbox Microsoft as a whole bought out Bethesda, and 2, every Bethesda release is specifically designed with Xbox hardware in mind. So you're going to have access to a lot more mods than PlayStation will. And I feel terrible for you PlayStation players, because generally I've enjoyed more PS4 and PS5 games recently, when they've been released on the PC, of course. I've enjoyed more PlayStation games than Xbox games in the last few years. And it sucks that you guys aren't gonna be able to have as much access to these things. However, that's simply the nature of Sony. They are not a fan of Microsoft, and I understand. It makes sense. They're a competitor. But it sucks that that's the case for you. It shouldn't be. However, whether you're PlayStation or whether you're Xbox, whether you're Sony or Microsoft, you guys are going to be limited in the amount of stuff that you can do. You just are. Because unlike on PC, Xbox, the Xbox and the PlayStation have limits to the total amount of space that your mods are allowed to take up on your individual systems. That limitation does not exist here on the PC, both through the Bethesda mod page and just if you're modding outside of that. Those limits do not exist. The only limits that exist are the total number of mods you can have, which I believe is capped at 255 plugins, but I don't know. You can combine plugins to turn them into consolidate your mods, but that's a whole other process. That's the only limitation you have outside of what your hardware is. So if your graphics card is powerful enough, if your system is optimized well, you can play as many mods or any mod that you feel like. This is generally the way of most games, and I'm sure this sounds very remedial, like, why are you explaining the process of mods to us? But it's important to know, because when you go to build settlements, when you go to do something similar to what I've done, or similar to what someone else has done, or maybe you're just here for the information on what it, you know, how do I build this kind of structure, or how do I use these kinds of mods? It's important to know you might not be able to use all of these mods all of the time, or you might have to prioritize which mods are most important to you. If you prefer to have, like I do, if it's more important to you that you can dress up like Batman than it is that you build super intricate settlements, that's perfectly fine. Just recognize you're not going to be able to build the most intricate settlements, even if you'd like to. You'd have to switch your priorities around, and if you're willing to give up, you know, this Batman costume in order to build very intricate settlements, good on you. That's a sacrifice you're willing to make. If you are going to have to get rid of a couple of very detailed gun mods in order to make enough space to put in a Snappy House Kit, or put in Homemaker, or put in OC Decorator, or any of the things that we've used, then that's a decision you're going to have to come to. It's not always a comfortable decision, and it sucks that you have to make it, because this is just the way that consoles are set up. Consoles happen to be locked this way, and I really do wish it was an accepted thing in the gaming community to be able. It was accepted and widely available for console players to be able to make modifications to the systems that they buy. However, that's simply not the way it is right now. And that sucks. I'm very sorry for you guys. I'm sure there's a couple workarounds. I'm sure that there's some aftermarket guys who are doing something that may or may not be the most legal thing in the world, but is designed explicitly to help console players. And those I'm not going to advocate, or I'm neither going to advocate nor denigrate any of those individuals, because you know what? They're providing an important service to a lot of people who don't have access to it any other way. At the same time, they might fall into legal trouble with, you know, Sony or Microsoft or whatever, and not be able to provide the same kind of thing to you. So recognize, as a console player, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. If you're comfortable making those sacrifices, then welcome. Please, I would love for more people to join in, because if there's anything I genuinely love about Fallout 4, is building settlements. It is extremely fun for me. I don't know. Maybe it's the Minecraft of it all. I couldn't tell you. But on top of that, you know, we've got some other things we should probably. I've stuck a lot of time onto just those two or three major FAQ sort of scenarios, and the buyer beware of it all. Let's see what else. I have only shown you one of the different house kits that you can build with, specifically the shell kit. The reason being, I use shell kit more than any other one. I use shell kit more than the regular house kit, more than the deco kit, more than I've never built a parking structure, so I don't use the parking structure ones. There's a ton of different house kits inside of the Snappy House Kit mod. This was just using the shell kit, because the shell kit achieves several things for me. One, it is an easy thing to teach. Very simple. It's essentially plug and play, and you have a lot of different creative options you can do with just the shell kit. Number two, it's extremely fortunate for me that the shell kit with the stone brick texture is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking to build. So I went with that because it fits the aesthetic that I'm going with. All of these destroyed houses, I'm not going to be rebuilding them as wooden houses. No, I'm going to be rebuilding them as stone structures, because it makes sense that if you want something that's going to last a long time, you're going to build the stone structures more than the wooden houses. Now, I have got other mods. I know in the castle, I built a set of log cabins. That was a unique purpose and the lore I created for that explains that unique purpose. At large, if you're rebuilding an entire town, you're going to go for materials that last a long time and that are easily reproduced. Stone bricks are extremely easily reproduced. And all of the whitewashing and plaster and everything, that's not that difficult to find either. So it fits, again, it fits for my storytelling. But I have only shown you one of the variety of house kit options. Figure out what you want to do with the rest. If you want to build a massive Croup Manor-like structure, use the Deco kit. If you want to build a big parking garage and make a nice modern, a cool modern city or whatever, use the parking garage set. If you want to build buildings that are closer to like the downtown Boston in this game, use the I believe it's the high-tech set, something like that. There's set if it is a structure that was built in this game using the creation kit, then it is likely something you are able to build using the Snappy House Kit mod. It will not be easy in every single case. Every build type has its own learning curve, but it is likely something you can do. It just takes time and practice. So give it your best shot. Come up with as creative of a thing as you can possibly imagine to build. I would love to see it. It's very fun for me to see the kinds of creativity that other people have in this game. And who knows, you might be able to inspire me to go ahead and build a new thing. You might come up with an idea that's like, oh, how did I never think of that before? That's perfect. I totally want to do something like that. And if that's the case, I'm definitely going to make sure I write down your name and that I credit you whenever I end up building that thing, because it's really cool. It's really cool. And it's the kind of thing, it's what I do this for. I want to be able to inform people and see what cool things they do with the information I can provide. Whether that's, they just watch me and they're entertained, or they take the things that I've spoken about and hopefully taught them in these tutorials, and they go and create their own massive things. I guess that's the last thing I really have to talk about right now. I don't know if any of these questions and if any of these topics have been particularly helpful to you. I certainly hope that they have, because that's my goal. But the last thing I do want to say is, if you end up building something super cool, that's a lot of lag right there. I'm gonna avoid this for now. If you end up building something super cool, show me. If you want to send me screenshots, you can send me screenshots you can @ me on Twitter, which is in the description of each of my VODs. You can go ahead and @ me on Twitter. Hey, this is the thing I built. This is what it's called. Whatever detail you want to give me. If you want to make a video and you want to show me around the place, do that as well. Go ahead and just in the description or the title of the video, make sure that you mention my channel name. You put @CN_games, and I'll get a notification about it. I'm super interested in seeing what you guys have to do, the things that you guys build. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for me to build these kinds of things, and it is even more fun for me to see how creative everyone out there can be. So, give it a shot. Give it a shot. It's not that hard. It can seem a little daunting. Certainly getting into the modding community in Fallout can seem a little daunting. I know when I first jumped in, I was very concerned, and I made a bunch of mistakes, and I learned from those mistakes, but we're back. We're here. That was 7 years ago that I started playing this game. Wow, 7 years. Man, that time flies. But in the last 7 years, I've figured out how mod menus work. I've become very comfortable using Mod Organizer instead of just manually dragging my mods into my game folder, because that's not a safe thing to do. You're never gonna remember all of the mod. You're never gonna remember all of the mod files you drag in, and you're eventually going to break something when you try and delete something. It's not a smart idea. If you're doing this through PC, just use a mod menu. It's the smartest move. There's 1,000 tutorials out there on how to set up a mod menu. It's just the safest thing for you and your system. if you don't want to lose all your progress, of course. But this is fun. I'm glad I've been able to make these couple of tutorials for you. I know we're coming up close to time, but I don't have too much else to discuss. Let's see. Oh yes. So of course, as if you were watching live, starting today, we're back on our regular schedule. If you want to watch live, it's Christian Nisus on Kick, which again, if you're watching live already, you know this. But if you are watching on the VODs, it's linked in the description. You can go ahead and follow me on Kick and get notified as soon as I go live. But the schedule is generally going to be 4:30 to 7:30 Central, which is CST in the United States. Wherever you happen to be in the world, figure out what that converts to, because I don't know outside of the U.S. what all the regional conversions happen to be. But we're going back to our regular schedule. My best friend in the world came out here for a week and was visiting. And there's a lot of cool stuff that happened while he was here. But a lot of that cool stuff required that I move this streaming schedule around. The only thing I wasn't going to do is I was not going to cancel streaming, regardless of who it was, because it matters to me that I'm consistent with you guys, and that I'm able to grow a little bit. Because you know what, it would be really cool to turn YouTube into a job, and I'd like to give myself the best shot possible, whatever that looks like. And I'm very happy with what we've gone through so far. I'm absolutely stunned that we're over 100 subscribers on this VODs channel. I began this journey about 6.5 months ago, starting from basically 0 subscribers. I'm sure there was like 1 or 2 on this channel, but I think it was about 0 subscribers. Gaining 100 subscribers in 6.5 months, starting with 0 and starting with absolutely no algorithmic push, with absolutely no viable content on this channel. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy to me. I'm sure that's slow to some other people, but I'm proud of the progress we've made. I'm proud of the fact that I can say you guys have really enjoyed a lot of the content that I've put out there. It means the world to me that you guys have been watching. And, it's just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun making this kind of stuff. Making this kind of stuff is very, very fulfilling for me. I don't know. There's a bunch of other stuff I want to make, but this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. All that other kind of stuff takes a lot of time, and I want to be consistent. I can't necessarily be consistent with some of the documentaries and video essays I want to make, and it helps that I have an audience that is willing to sit in there and watch me for 3 hours just play a game that I'm interested in. It means the world to me that you guys would do so. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the camera itself, actually, because we're kind of winding down here. 100 subscribers, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. We are 400 subscribers away from being able to monetize this channel, which is wild. Absolutely wild. And I've been very cautious with the kind of content that I put on this channel, and that all of it can be monetized. By which I mean any of the background music I use, I'm not going to get a copyright strike for using. I'm very happy about that. Very happy about that, because it's 3-hour-long VODs. There's close to 150 of them now. They can bring in tons of watch hours and all kinds of stuff, which is very, that's the bread and butter. Watch hours watch hours, viewers, and subscribers. It's the bread and butter of any YouTube thing. And if I want to give this a real shot, that's kind of what I have to aim for. And this is really cool to see. I'm really, really excited about this, because it feels like I'm starting to move more than 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Starting to move a little faster. So thank you guys. This is all because of you guys. I could make whatever, but it's because of you guys that's even possible. So, thank you. Genuinely thank you. It means the world to me. Let's see. I've talked about we're back on the schedule. So if you have been watching live, those of you who have been consistently watching live, like NCR Ranger Bravo or Mitch Rapp or some of the other regulars around here, thank you. It means the world that you guys would watch me live. It's a lot of fun for me to make this kind of content. It's a lot of work on my end. Even if it might not seem like it, there's a lot of back-end work once the stream is done, and I really got to focus in on it, so I don't have a whole ton of time to spend outside of the content itself. And it means a lot that you guys would be interested in watching. And for all of you who have been watching on the VODs themselves, I read all the comments. I might not respond to all of them because maybe I don't have the time, or maybe it's like, oh, okay, well, do I need to respond to this, or is this more of just like a hey, I'm saying this thing, like, not everything you know how it works. Not everyone's looking to be responded to for everything, but I do read every single comment. It means the world to me that you guys are this interested, that you would leave comments and you would like and subscribe and everything. That's awesome. For those of you who are watching on the VODs, in the description of every VOD, and I say this every time, I'm sure you've heard it, but in the description of every VOD, you will find the names of all of the settlement mods that I'm using, as well as apologies, as well as links to my social medias, so my Twitter, if you want to go ahead and send me screenshots of the cool things you're building, my Instagram, if you want to see some of my photography work. I need to upload more of it, but some of it's up there. And of course, the other YouTube channels, my main one where I post documentary-style content and video essays that take a long time to produce because I'm very deep into the research of all of these things. A third channel that I haven't really put anything on yet, but if I ever come to come up with something that's like, hey, I just want to talk about this for 20 minutes or whatever, I'll put it up there. It's called CN Speaks. Yeah, nothing's up there right now. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, and of course, there's, in the description, there's ways you can support me monetarily. It's going to be a while before I can, be monetized through the YouTube stuff, and if you'd like to support me, if any of this stuff has been particularly useful to you, there's a Patreon, there's a merch shop, there's a variety of ways you can donate to the stream, and the notification will pop up, or I'll something will show up that's like, hey, this is a thing. If I don't catch it live, of course I'll read it on the next stream. But yeah, there's a bunch of ways you can do that. I always forget to talk about them until the end because I don't feel comfortable begging, and I shouldn't be begging you guys for something that you guys also need. I want to leave it up to you guys. If you care enough about this kind of stuff, if this is something that has been impactful enough to you or informative enough to you, I would certainly hope that you would contribute monetarily. But the economy's not the best right now. I do not in any way, shape, or form blame you for saying, no, I'm good. It makes perfect sense. I mean, come on. It's not the best out there. But any little bit helps, and I would love to turn this into a full-time thing at some point. It's a bit of a dream of mine, yeah. But that's a different story. But yeah, if you want to support me, there's plenty of ways to do so. They're all linked in the description. I'm not going to sit here and beg you to do so. I'm simply happy that you've been watching. This is probably seeming a bit sappy and a bit, a little bit long here for all this stuff, but it means a lot. It genuinely means a lot that you guys have been watching. I'm surprised that we've made it 100 subscribers deep and almost 150 videos, because, well, I generally have different expectations of myself than I do of other people. Personal image problems, all that kind of stuff. Whatever. Point is, I'm extremely grateful to you guys, and I've said that like 5 or 6 times now. But I think I'm going to wind the stream down here very soon. Oh, we've only got like 4 minutes left. Can I keep talking for 4 more? Can I talk on and just keep yapping for 4 more minutes? Probably. We will begin our next bit of the Jamaica Plains settlement tomorrow with or on the next stream, of course, which if you're watching this live or within the first 6-ish hours that it's live, we're Wednesday the 19th of June. We're going to begin our next section of the Jamaica Plains build with the post office. It shouldn't take us an obscenely large amount of time, but it's going to be a larger post office than the one that was in the castle. So, you know, it's going to take some time. We're going to have a lot of individual object placement. It's going to get very boring to do, but it needs to be done, and I want to do it live because it gives me an opportunity to just sort of hang, just sort of, you know, chat, see what chat's got going on, and, you know, hopefully provide something interesting for you guys at the same time. But yeah, we're working on the post office next, and then after the post office, we've got a couple things to work on besides, you know, residential buildings. I don't necessarily have the time right now to put a ton of work into a bunch more residential buildings, but we should. We really should. It'd be very important. We also need to build some farming sections. Yeah, we need to build a little bit of a farm so that you know, that Jamaica Plains is providing its own resources. Yeah, there's a lot of things left to build, so don't worry. We're not done by any means. We've got a lot of stuff to go. And it's all going to be really, I think it's going to be really fun. So I hope you guys are interested in continuing with that. I don't know if I can go on for another minute and a half just talking about this, because I remember I have to remove the first 2 minutes of the stream anyway, because that's just the starting soon and whatever starting music I went with. So I'm not going to keep you guys here too much longer. I'm going to, you know, end it off here. I want to say thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to me that you've done so. We will return live tomorrow at approximately the same bat time, which is 4:30 Central. And definitely the same bat channel. All right. Have a good one.